recording. Gotta add a blooper reel at the end. You can contact the network at contact@UFP-Earth, on Twitter at UFP-Earth, and on Facebook. I am fantastic, sir. How are you? You've had some time off, so I'm sure you're pretty much refreshed, reset, and ready to go. That's absolutely fantastic. And, we'll get to this in that podcast, but the day-by-day photos and videos that were taken by your family were just, absolutely brought a smile to my face, sure, just looking at it. So we'll get to that in depth more. Right. That's right, The Mandalorian Chapter 4. That means we're 4 episodes in, 4 episodes away from the finale. So for an overall view, Magic, hold on. For an overall view, Magic, tell me, what'd you think of it? Mm-hmm. I agree. I couldn't agree more. I thought this story, like you said, there was no height, but the drop off, changing the tone for midway through the season actually brought a great refreshment to the series. With you love the action, but you have that undertone that they had, and we'll get into it more in the episode. That really was a great refreshment to it was really a great refreshment to the episode. I enjoyed it. I have that as my second note. Yeah, I have that as my second note in the episode. Kids touch things, and it's so true. Whether you're on a long trip or whether you're on a short trip, you're driving and you look over and the kids are touching the windows and kids are touching this. You're like, no, no, don't touch that. You don't know what's going to happen. And it was. I think really honestly, this episode was a real great blend of action, a real great blend of somewhat of a romance to comedy all in the end as well. For the Raiders pillage. Basically, we open the scene. We open the episode to the cold open, and it's the Raiders coming in on this backwater planet, I guess you could say, uh, when they come in, they start pillaging as if they wanted to take over, but yet a mother and her young child are found in the river, hidden, so they don't get taken or killed. I thought that was a really. Let me see if I can say this. We talked about this being a Western. I think this episode really does make this a Western, is how Mando comes flying into town and sees what's going on, and we'll get more deep, in depth in the episode, but he comes into town and sees what's going on, and the town comes to him for help. I really thought that was a great action scene, regardless of what was going on, the pillaging, but I really thought the action scene, and even the drawing board at the end, when they show that scene in the drawing board and the end credits, really was a great scene. I like that one. Right. It was a fantastic scene. I enjoyed it. And then we get into, once Mando lands, we get into what goes on. We know they know who he is. He's a Mandalorian. But they also see Yodito coming down. And Yodito, as much as he's a part of the story for being a bounty, coming to this backwater planet, he is nothing but of innocence and is drawn to the children because he himself is a child. That's correct, yeah. Yeah, it's the it's the walking into the town and then deputizing the next person that you see that is of equal or greater military expertise. The character played by Gina Carano, I'll say her name again, Gina Carano, and I'll say it third time, Gina Carano, because I absolutely am a fan of her. She was a former MMA fighter who later went into acting. Her solo film Haywire, nothing but full action. She's a local Las Vegas girl. She attended University of Reno and University of Las Vegas. I followed her career in the MMA, and when she retired, I stopped watching it. But as far as the fight scenes, I thought they were absolutely fantastic. It was well choreographed. It wasn't Mando winning the whole thing. You actually see Mando at a weakness, although they are of somewhat the same military background. You do see them fight, and you do see a tussle, a true tussle. Nobody is clearly the winner. They call it a draw at the end. So, but don't you think? I mean, everybody has their strengths, right? You have the brawn, the brains, the beauty, whatever. It seems to me that Mandalorian has a little of the both, but uses the brains more than the brawn. Well, sure. You know, okay. No, and you're absolutely right. But you said it before. He's talked about as if he is, or even if his race or the guild is this high and mighty. It's kind of like telling a story down from generation to generation. And how everybody is looked up at this individual as the highest, but really he is not. I don't think it's. I don't think it's a disadvantage to the character. Should he win more fights? Sure, but sure. Yeah, yeah, right. It's. I get where you're coming from, but I still believe that there's more to someone than just brawn. There's brains involved too, which is kind of why I. Okay, I guess I'm I'm pretty sure they'll give him the win at some point. Who knows? Maybe even episode 8 will be an ultimate win. We don't know. So, what'd you think of the helmet ritual? Because I think what it is if he takes it off in public, he can never put it back on. I thought it was weird as well. I get the anonymity that he's supposed to. No one's supposed to know who he is. Um, but all the same, it's just it was really kind of weird. I think it was an aspect of the Mandalorian that they tried to write in that really doesn't really fall short for me. Um, I get for a romantic, the romance between him and the widow, but I mean, I don't get the helmet thing at all. I think it's more of a trust element. Half of me wants to believe it's a trust element that's involved with it. Um, and as a bounty hunter, as a Mandalorian, you have to be eerie of everybody you come in contact with. But even if it's a trust element, I mean, granted, he was what an inch close to getting into a romantic relationship, and then he has a mind to, set that aside and put business first. And